Hello and good evening. This is Satya Brahma. Tonight we turn our focus to Iran, a nation once hailed as a cradle of civilization, now engulfed in unrest. From the revolution of 1979 to today's protest, the Iranian people's yearning for freedom has never peaked. In fact, but what does this turmoil mean for the world peace? We are going to decode today. How do global powers, particularly the United States, under the President Donald Trump, save the outcome? Friends across Iran, ordinary citizens, students, workers, women demand dignity, freedom, and an end to authoritarian rule. Their courage is a reminder that the human spirit cannot be silenced. And this unrest is not confined to Iran's borders. It actually threatens oil markets, risks nuclear escalations, and in fact could trigger refugee crisis. The question is stark. Is this a great danger to world peace? And the answer is a big yes, because the stakes are very global and could be very dangerous. Donald Trump's interventions have sharpened tensions from bombing nuclear facilities in 2025 to imposing tariffs on nations trading with Iran. His hardline stance is divided allies and emboldened adversaries. Critics warn that reckless escalation could ignite a wider conflict. Israel stands firmly with Trump, viewing Iran as an existential threat, while Saudi Arabia, Egypt use caution, fearing regional fallout. Meanwhile, China, India, Turkey, Russia, and the EU face tariffs if they could continue trade with Tehran. The world is therefore split between the confrontation and caution. Here is my quote as I say, Iran's unrest is not just a domestic upheaval, it is in fact a mirror reflecting the fragility of global peace. The yearning of its people for freedom must be respected, but reckless intervention risks turning a cry for dignity into conflagration that engulfs the world. As Iran stands at crossroads, the world must decode. Will it support the people's aspirations or plunge the region into chaos? The answer will sharpen not only Iran's destiny, but the trajectory of global peace itself. And this is Dr. Satya Brahma reporting for the Network 7 Media Group for this special broadcast today. Friends, Iran's unrest reflects a nation at crossroads with global repercussions that could reshape Middle East stability and world peace. The protests are driven by economic collapse, repression, and yearning for freedom. While Donald Trump's intervention have escalated tensions internationally, nations divided between supporting Donald Trump's hardline stance and cautioning against military escalation, highlighting the fragile balance of global diplomacy. Iran's unrest reflects a nation at a crossroads with global repercussions that could reshape Middle East stability and world peace. The protests are driven by economic collapse, repression, and yearning for freedom. While Donald Trump's interventions have escalated tensions internationally, nations are divided between supporting Donald Trump's hardline stance and cautioning against military escalation, highlighting the fragile balance of global diplomacy. Here is the timeline of Iran's turbulent history, which you must know actually. In 1979, the Islamic Revolution actually toppled Shah Muhammad Reza Pahlavi, the ushering in clerical rule. In 1980 to 1988, Iran-Iraq war devastated the nation, leaving billions dead or displaced. In 1999, students' protest erupted, crushed by security forces. In 2009, the Green Movement challenges election results met with brutal repercussions and repression. 2019 to 2022, protests over fuel prices and Masa Amin's death highlight systemic repression. December 2025 to January 2026, current unrest begins with inflation and currency collapse spreading to 180 cities across all provinces. Women-led protestations, burning hijabs and reviving pre-1979 symbols. The people's yearning for change could be defined in the sense that Iranians across demographics, students, workers and women are demanding economic dignity, political freedom and an end to authoritarianism. The protests have claimed thousands of lives with executions of mass arrest fueling anger. The revival of pre-revolutionary symbols signals a deep desire to break from clerical rule and reclaim national identity. What are the implications therefore for the world peace? Whether it is a grave danger? Yes. Iran's unrest risks destabilizing the Middle East with spillover effects on oil markets, regional alliances and nuclear tensions. Global peace impact. If Iran collapses into civil war or faces external intervention, the ripple effects could trigger refugee crisis, proxy conflicts and economic shocks worldwide. Donald Trump's interventions could be Trump, in fact, warning the Tehran of military action. Referencing the 2025 bombing of nuclear facility, he in fact went on to impose a 25% tariff on nations trading with Iran, effectively weaponizing global trade. His strategy has aimed to force Iran into a strategic submission but risk escalating into war. Critics argue Trump's intervention emboldened headlines in Tehran while alienating allies. These hardliners are creating much more troubles as for Trump's beliefs. Nations supporting Trump, supportive Israel, strongly believe that Donald Trump's hardline stance, seeing Iran as an existential threat. Cautious allies Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, and Egypt urge nations to avoid military strikes fearing regional fallout. Impacted nations are China, India, Turkey, Russia, and EU face tariff if they continue trading with Iran. Here is my quote: Iran's unrest is not just a domestic upheaval, it is a mirror reflecting the fragility of global peace. The yearning of its people for freedom must be respected, but reckless intervention risks turning a cry for dignity into a conflagration that engulfs the world. And in conclusion, I therefore say that Iran's protests are a historic moment for defiance against decades of repression. The world faces a delicate choice: supporting the Iranian people's aspirations without plunging region into chaos. Donald Trump's intervention sharpened the stakes, dividing visions between confrontation and caution. The outcome will sharpen not only Iran's future but the very trajectory of the global peace.